Vas a ayudar, ¿sabes qué me va a ayudar? Métete en Skedline Facebook y dime los nombres de los próximos. ¿Ah? ¿El qué? El Mike.
Humber College. It's election night 2018. I'm your host, Rosen Castillo.
And I'm Sierra Guido, and you're watching Sked Live News. Tonight, we have Skedline reporters covering a section of wards surrounding the Humber Lakeshore area and a few with top mayoral candidates, John Tory and Jennifer Keesmaat. We will also be showcasing their work leading up to tonight's election.
Polling stations are now closed. It's been an interesting election with the restructuring of wards. Skedline reporters Sarah Lark and Katya Sist spoke to constituents in Ward 3 about issues that are important to them.
With Toronto's municipal election around the corner, big changes are coming to the city's wards. Here in Etobicoke Lakeshore, soon to be Ward 3, the elected councillor will have the responsibility of looking after what was previously Wards 5 and 6. This election will be like no other Toronto has seen before, as the city's council has been reduced from 44 to 25 wards. This means councillors will have to cover more ground and be accountable to more people. In Etobicoke Lakeshore, residents have expressed concerns about issues they want addressed in the area.
I feel a lot of our infrastructure needs to be renewed. There's a lot of potholes on the street. Also, I noticed there's a lot of poverty, so I think people with drug addictions and mental health issues need help.
Ward 3 also includes Humber College and young voters.
I find that coming from out of town, I just moved here, that the transit system is hard to navigate. I feel like there's not a lot of options for me around here if something does go wrong with the transit systems.
There are 10 people in the running for Ward 3, including sitting councillor Mark Grimes. If re-elected, this would be his 5th term in office. Mark Grimes has been in office since 2003. What do you think about the possibility of him being re-elected again?
I think that we really need some change, especially if he's been in the office that long. We need somebody new to come in and really just create change, especially in this area.
Voting in all wards comes to a close October 22nd. From skedline.com, I'm Sarah Lark.
Skedline reporters Michael Ranger and Anastasia Colson-Gagnon spoke to Etobicoke Lakeshore business owners last week about the upcoming election.
We're 4 days away from the Toronto municipal election, and we're here in Etobicoke Lakeshore talking to small business owners about who they plan to support and what they feel the biggest issues are in this ward.
Okay, well, I believe that Mark Grimes has a very solid foundation in this community. When we first opened, he actually made a point of coming to the store to introduce himself. I did attend an event where he was the other night, and he actually remembered how long I'd been in business. Surprising to me, I'm just a little small fry on the lakeshore in Long Branch, and he's got this whole lakeshore to take care of, and he seems to know what's going on.
So which candidate do you think you'll be supporting in the upcoming election?
Yeah, well, I prefer Mark. He has more experience, and he's well known in the public.
Many business owners along Lakeshore feel that longtime incumbent Mark Grimes is the right choice, if only because of the experience he will continue to bring to the position. Some business owners even feel that a vote for other lesser-known candidates, such as Amber Morley, may not even matter, with Grimes being a shoe-in for re-election.
This year, I'll probably vote for Amber. I'm really not sure. I still think Mark Grimes is going to win. They say that name recognition is huge in politics. Maybe Amber. I'm really not committing to anybody just yet. I don't know.
Some business owners feel that candidates in Ward 3 haven't done enough to promote their own platforms. Many of them are still unfamiliar with the majority of candidates, even this close to Election Day. Do you have any thoughts about who you might be voting for in this upcoming municipal election?
Actually, I don't really have any thoughts because I'm not really sure all the people that are in the running.
What can I say? I'm not familiar with the other candidates.
So do you feel that the candidates could be doing a better job of getting their name out there?
I would like to see them do a better job. We were actually just talking about it this morning, how there's a handful of people running, and I've talked to maybe 2 of them. And I'm right beside a coffee shop that's a community hub, and there aren't any notices about who's talking where or what kind of public forums there are.
For skedline.com, Michael Ranger signing off.
There are new faces running for council in Ward 3, like Humber Lakeshore alumni Amber Morley. Kelsey Moore and Michelle Ramos spoke to Morley about the election and opening of campaign office.
My name is Michelle Ramos, reporting for Skedline News. Today we're standing in front of Amber Morley's brand new campaign office in Ward 3, where she is running for City Council.
I'm Amber Morley. I'm running for City Council to represent my area of Etobicoke Lakeshore at City Hall. This is my new campaign office. We've got our signs to the side ready to go and be picked up. So we've got lots of residents stopping in, grabbing signs and showing their support for our More with Morley campaign. We've got our map that sort of shows our areas that we've covered. We've got numerous maps, but that's one of our main ones to show all the streets we've been to, the doors we've knocked. So what we've felt and seen in our community is that there's been a lot of development and a lot of buildings being built, but there has not been a lot of infrastructure to go with it. And so that's the job, again, of the councillors, to ensure that those conversations are happening, that fulsome planning, that conscientious planning, that community-centric planning is happening. Our office opening last week was fantastic. My team did an incredible job inviting the community down. We had some special guests, as well as some of our key supporters come down to the community. I was quite excited about it. It was my first ever, as I'm a first-time candidate.
I'm the type of person who says, don't tell me about your politics, show me. An open door policy shows me that Amber is open to every single person in this community, regardless of whether they're a renter or a homeowner, a developer, a small business person. She is here to serve.
Woo! And what makes you think she stands out from the other candidates running?
For the past 15 years, we've had a councillor that blocks constituents on social media, doesn't return their phone calls or emails. She's going to be a leader that listens to you, takes the time to understand your issues, and really make that part of her platform at City Hall.
We have a city that's very diverse, 50% people of color that live in the city. And
About Mark Grimes?
No.
Do you know anything about any other candidates?
No idea.
Well, are you a resident in Etobicoke? Plan on voting on Monday?
Maybe, depending on if I can find out any information about the parties.
Hi, so what are your names?
I'm Brianna. Alex.
Hi, so do you guys know anything about the municipal elections that are happening here in Etobicoke on Monday?
No, I have no clue.
You have no clue about any of the candidates or anything like that?
No, just what you see on signs.
What you see on signs? And have you noticed the Mark Grimes signs everywhere?
Yes.
So you guys have no idea who he is?
No.
So far, everybody that we have spoken to have no idea who Mark Grimes is, even though his signs are posted everywhere in Etobicoke. We have approached local businesses who have refused to comment on camera, and they have basically told us that they've received signs from him, but they don't know who he is and they've never met him, and they are not aware of any of his promises or any of the issues that are happening in Etobicoke. Catch us next week for the results of the Monday's election. And that's it for Skedline News. I'm Natalia Yuryeva.
Moving out of Ward 3 and into surrounding wards, Nyla Tahir and Vanessa Gomez spoke to candidates and residents in Ward 2, including a candidate with a very specific platform.
Hi, this is Naila Tahir from skedline.com, and I'm here talking to people and candidates from Ward 2. And these are some of the issues they have for this election.
I'd like to see Richview Library expanded on and create a community center on that area, because I think it would be more beneficial to the community to have that library expanded on, and creating, swimming pool, workout area, gathering rooms, all that sort of stuff on the same location at a fraction of the price it is to build a brand new one.
Carnevale is focusing on a community aspect for his campaign. However, people of his ward have different issues to worry about.
Well, that's really, I hope if there's a new government, I hope they do something about transportation in Toronto.
What's your problem with the transportation here?
Just too many cars and not enough roads.
The issues that are really pressing in our city in terms of things like affordable housing, which is a huge issue in Toronto, and the TTC and whatnot, and transit, and having more efficient transit. So those are the things that I'm looking for in terms of when I go online and I'm kind of searching up who I would like to vote for my ward. And so those are the things that are most important to my life.
Bill Borsma, a candidate for Ward 2, told us over a phone interview that he decided to run for the council because he started suffering from electromagnetic hypersensitivity from the cell towers the city is placing in his area. He says he knows that he's not going to win this election, but he is going to use this platform to reach people who are suffering from the same disease. This is Naila Tahir from skedline.com, and this is your report for Ward 2's elections.
Skedline reporters Giovanni Siciliano and Alex Filiomeni spent time in Ward 7, Humber River Black Creek, home to a high-profile race, where the restructuring of wards led to incumbent councillors running against their former colleagues.
October 22nd is the municipal election here in Toronto. The province passed Bill 5, which changed the number of wards from 47 to 25. Ward 7, Humber River Black Creek, now features a tight race between Anthony Perusa and Giorgio Mammalini. There are 8 candidates: Christine Ann Charles, Amanda Combs, Tiffany Ford, Winston LaRose, Deanna Sagro, Carrie Ann Thomas, and the 2 frontrunners, Giorgio Mammalini and Anthony Perusa. Ward 7 has been represented by Giorgio Mammalini since 2006. He served as an Ontario NDP MPP from 1990 to 1995. Anthony Perusa was first elected to City Council for Ward 8 in 2006, so both are seeking re-election. All right, Mary, the Monday is the election. Are you excited to vote?
Yes, I am.
I see by your sign that you're a supporter of Anthony Perusa. Can you tell me why?
Because I like what he stands for. I have supported him in the past, and I think he's the best man for the job.
Paul Nguyen, creator and webmaster of the popular website janeandfinch.com, created the website in 2004 to change the negative stereotypes about the ward and his community.
You have to earn the right or have some sort of public standing and be competitive. Otherwise, there's no media that can interview all 50 people. And some people are just running to get famous, right? And residents, especially in Jane and Finch, you're worried about having a job or how the bus works. You really couldn't care less if it's 50 council seats or 25. Most people don't even know who their councillor is, right? So that is not a concern. I've never heard that on the radio, like radar. Nobody cares 50 or 25. That's their concern.
The new ward is located on the west side of North York, and its rough boundaries are Humber River on the west, Steeles Avenue West on the north, Keele Street on the east, Grand Ravine Drive, Black Creek, Shepherd Avenue West, Jane Street, and Highway 401 on the south. CBC reported on September 28 that a new survey suggests Anthony Perusa is on track to defeat Giorgio Mammalini in October's municipal election, although they also report that Mammalini maintains he's still ahead of the polls. From skedline.com, I'm Alex Filiomeni.
Toronto's affordable housing crisis has made housing a top issue this election. Social housing is a big issue for Jane and Fairgrove, where Paula Brown and Raven Smith spoke to residents and candidates about the now closed housing complex.
I'm Paula Brown from skedline.com. I'm here in the Fairgrove community to get a closer look at social housing. At Jane and Fairgrove sits the vacant buildings that used to make up the Fairgrove housing community. Ward 7 candidate Amanda Combs had this to say about Fairgrove.
Residents who live at Fairgrove have been relocated due to the fact that the houses have now become deplorable, and they can no longer reside in those houses anymore. So the entire thing is being knocked down. And many of those families were displaced and relocated to different parts of the city of Toronto. And this is something that many residents are living in fear of right now.
In December of 2016, it was announced that the deteriorating townhouses would be closed. What is actively left open is the Recreation Center. Program coordinator for the Fir Grove community, Jesse Zorzella, said this about what residents want.
They just want it to be fixed, really, pretty much. Like, they want a great community. That's all they really want. It's not good right now. It's not the best right now.
With the municipal election coming up, we will see what councillors will do for affordable housing. This has been a closer look at social housing in the Fir Grove community. I'm Paula Brown from skedline.com.
Municipal election means voting for 3 different candidates: mayor, council, and the lesser-known category, trustees. Justin Field and Liam Harrington spoke to the Etobicoke Lakeshore community and trustee candidates about important issues.
I'm Justin Field, and I'm here at Alderwood Centre in Etobicoke Lakeshore, Ward 3, where today, this is an early voting station, where residents can come until 7 p.m. tonight to cast their ballot not only in the City Council election, but also in the election for School Board Trustee. The parking lot at Alderwood Centre, one of 2 early voting stations in Ward 3, stayed busy on Sunday with residents pulling in to cast their ballots 1 week prior to the municipal election. One race that should have an interesting result is the Tdsb school trustee election, as incumbent Pamela Goff is stepping down to enter the race for City Council, and she has some words of advice for the incoming trustees filling her old role.
I would say be in it for the right reasons, which is to make the schools work better for the students. I think the students are at the heart of what every trustee does, and of course through the students we work with the parents. And if you're not there for the students, then you really shouldn't be a trustee.
Lakeshore Collegiate is one of the schools that will fall into the jurisdiction of the new trustee, and has its own unique set of issues that some students are quick to point out.
Our biggest issue for our school's structure would be the AC, the air condition, the heat, especially in the wintertime. And overall, those are the 2 major problems, and they should be fixed.
Only after the election will we be able to tell if the new trustee can make a difference for its students in Etobicoke schools.
Yeah, for sure. I think that, like voting for your trustees and electives is a really important part of democracy.
And do you think that as a younger person, as a student, that like education is an important issue?
Oh, for sure.
And why do you think education is so important?
Well, I mean, people need to be learning, like what's the point in living in a society where nobody knows anything?
One way or another, Etobicoke Lakeshore will have a new trustee on October 22nd. This has been Justin Field reporting for skedline.com.
While most Torontonians were out voting today, some voted at advanced voting stations earlier this month. Compared to 2014, advanced polling turnouts has dropped. Could that be due to confusion? Rosen Costello and Alex Arsenis spoke to Humber Lakeshore students to find out.
Voter turnout for advanced polling has dropped by more than 36,000 from the 2014 municipal election. This number does not represent the results of election night, but could be a result of voter confusion. Many Humber students are new to voting and may not completely understand what is going on. We talked to Humber students to see what they know about the upcoming election.
I actually don't know too much. I don't really pay attention to that as much. I know nothing about the upcoming election.
Not that much, just that it's a bunch of provinces voting for new mayors.
So basically I know nothing about the upcoming election. All I know is that I'm encouraged to vote. That's it.
It seems that Humber students aren't too interested in local politics. So what can be done to get them more engaged?
I would say like putting posters up around the school. Because if you don't live in the neighborhood, like you have no idea what's going on and who's going out. Like I don't even know who's running for the municipal election. So how am I supposed to go out and vote when I don't know what like their platform is?
I think a lot of students don't actually know anything about the upcoming election, especially first years. Me being a first year, I haven't really heard anything about it. So I think just more awareness to the election and to the campaign, to each candidate's campaign, then I think it'll push students to be more active with politics.
At Humber College for Skedline News, I'm Rosen Castillo. Another popular issue this election has been bike lanes, especially in a commuter city such as Toronto. Clement Go and Lucas Laporta took a closer look at Vision Zero, Toronto's road safety plan.
The Etobicoke area is a hotspot for cyclists and cars going on the roads together. Even though elections are coming up, many people are asking about Vision Zero, a project that looks to make things safer for both of them on the road. Made in 2017 by the city, the plan looks at measures towards road safety, an issue some voters on bicycles have been facing for years around the city. Its 5-year goal also looks at a few proposals, from having wider bike lanes to putting special traffic lights in busy areas. Lakeshore Boulevard is one of the hot spots for bikers who like the strip for its challenging distance, while others avoid it for its constant flow of cars and large buses filling up the already narrow path.
I try to avoid Lakeshore mainly because it's not cycling friendly. Even with the bike lane, there's too much vehicular traffic, and I find the vehicles aren't paying as much attention to cyclists as some of the other roads. So I find riding in the city, you got to be very aware as to which roads are safe and which are not. And I don't think that's the way the city should be. It shouldn't be. The cycling infrastructure should be safe wherever you use it.
Miller's concerns are part of a message being heard ahead of elections. Stephen Holliday, Toronto's deputy mayor and councillor for Central Etobicoke, says plans are already being drawn up from the city's budget and from current ones.
Well, there is that cycling network plan, and there is a process used to roll that out, and part of that is community consultation. And we go through that process before any of these infrastructure projects are committed, and we ensure that we have a good conversation with the community about what those changes are and how that affects their environment.
Along the west end from Long Branch, 4 lanes are running down a network of traffic, and its system is what mayoral candidate Jennifer Keesmaat calls as part of a car-dominated city.
Vision Zero is about saying, look, people are going to make mistakes on the street. A ball is going to run out into traffic, is going to get thrown out into traffic, or a driver is going to make a mistake when they're driving around the city. How do we design the city to ensure that everyone will be safe? And this is a really big shift.
Vision Zero is a 5-year plan that looks to build on a relationship between cyclists and cars on the road for safety. Ahead of elections, with 47 wards down to 25, time will tell whether or not the distribution of the plan will go solid for cyclists on the road. Clement Go, skedline.com.
More on transportation, Matthew Teixeira and Joey Keeney spoke to Ward 3 residents about One Fare, which aims to make traveling in the GTA easier on commuters.
I'm Matthew Teixeira with skedline.com, and today we'll be talking to residents of Ward 3 about an upcoming decision on a transit idea called One Transit. The idea is to amalgamate the transit fares of each city of Mississauga, Brampton, and Toronto into one fare. So what do you think about them changing the fare system?
Well, I think it's a good idea, especially nowadays. The economy is so expensive, everything is, and if it's going to only have to pay one fare, I think it's a good idea. TTC to the GO train, you're saying? I think it's an absolutely fantastic idea.
So what do you think about the One Transit idea?
Well, I mean, based on how our Presto system's going right now with its transfer system and how you're basically almost paying for a 2-hour trip throughout anywhere in Toronto, as long as Presto's accepted, it makes sense. And I mean, in many respects, maybe right at the current moment with Presto still being implemented, there might be a couple of hiccups, but I could see down the line that kind of being the way to go, where you go from one end of Toronto into Mississauga, Scarborough region, Hamilton, or whatever, and all the fees are harmonized in that respect. I mean, we're all just becoming one big city at this point. It just makes sense to harmonize the rate at some point. Because one big complaint a lot of people have, particularly when you go to Scarborough and Hamilton, is the difference in charge rates of traveling there. So it would make sense at some point just to harmonize it. Seems like the way to go.
All right, thanks, Nathan. Erica Kelly is running for the position of City Councillor in the City of Toronto. One of her ideas includes integrating transfares for TTC, MyWay, and the Brampton Zoom. This will allow riders to switch to any other system of transit with only paying one fare. This has been Matthew Teixeira with skedline.com.
Mike Go was at a town hall meeting at Martin Luther Church where locals spoke to TTC advocates about their concerns.
Toronto's transit is evolving with a population that grows bigger and bigger over the years. Over in Etobicoke, advocates from TTC riders are listening to local concerns.
The neighborhood's Martin Luther Church packs itself with ideas from guests, bringing in a mix of curiosity and suggestions to a table of candidates.
It's getting bigger. We just can't go on as we have in the last 30, 50 years of driving everywhere. It's just not viable. I mean, there's the road space. We can't build any more. The city's being built up. Can't build more roads. We need to use the roads more effectively and for better movement of people, not just vehicles.
Local concerns are drawn into topics for improving Lakeshore's services, to fare reductions, and more accommodations for Wheel-Trans.
I also think we need to improve north-south bus routes in Etobicoke. Again, some people work in the north, live in the south. And right now we're seeing a reduced service. We need to integrate articulated buses and more regular service, maybe 10 minutes or less on usual routes.
So a lot of the conversation around the election focuses on transit downtown. Obviously that's important. We can't ignore our downtown, but it's here in the inner suburbs. It's where people live. Interestingly, it's where people, when they immigrate to Toronto, it's where they start out now. People aren't starting downtown. People are starting in Etobicoke. They're starting in North York. They're starting in Scarborough. So we have to have these events here. It's actually essential to the future of our city.
As new residents also become new riders, the Etobicoke community shares concerns about the city's outreach. A growing demand for service starts with people traveling from the West End, taking longer to reach the downtown core.
So we have to get better at moving people more efficiently. I don't think cars are the answer just because of the volume of people and the lack of road space. So we need to start prioritizing and funding better transit for dense communities like this one.
The town hall is an effort in collecting ideas from a rider's perspective. Ahead of more budgeting after elections, transit debates continue to go on and off the tracks. Clement Go, skedline.com.
I'm Sarah,
and I'm Rosen.
And thank you for watching Sked Live.
For more information, check out skedline.com for what's making news now. Thank you for watching Sked Live. For more information, head to skedline.com. That's what's making news now.